If you have folks that are inclined to think Florida is a good place, our message to them is we are not a sanctuary state, and it's better to be able to go to a sanctuary jurisdiction. And yes, we will help facilitate that transport for you to be able to go to greener pastures.
One of Governor Ron DeSantis' stunts back in 2022 was to send migrants, 49 of them, from San Antonio, a state that he is not the governor of, to Martha's Vineyard to, of course, make a point about sanctuary cities, sanctuary states, and the migrant issue that he wants adjudicated or dealt with. And it turns out to have backfired spectacularly. So back in 2022, DeSantis led a taxpayer-funded operation with the help of a politically connected private donor, or vendor I should say, as a way to prevent migrants from coming to Florida. Although again, I just want to reiterate, he sent migrants from San Antonio, Texas to Martha's Vineyard. These are not migrants who came to Florida and were causing any problems or anything like that. But nonetheless, the Miami Herald reported that even though DeSantis was only authorized under state law to relocate migrants from his state, Florida, DeSantis said that he recruited migrants in Texas for the flights because it was easier to find them traveling together at the border than spread out across Florida. It was a stunt, that's all it was. And now it turns out that because of what he did, some of these migrants will become legal citizens much quicker. So Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar opened an investigation into whether the migrants were lured under false pretenses from a migrant resource center in San Antonio and brought after a brief stop in Florida to Martha's Vineyard, where they were unceremoniously stranded. After making it to Martha's Vineyard, the migrants told authorities that officials in Florida and others had duped them into getting on the chartered flights to Martha's Vineyard. They were given the false promises of cash payments, job opportunities, and housing. And then over the course of Salazar's investigation into this, it was in fact determined that the migrants were victims of a crime, that they had been lied to, they had been duped, they had been sent to Martha's Vineyard under false pretenses. Based on what was learned from that cooperation, Sheriff Salazar certified that the migrants had been victims of qualifying criminal activity for a U visa, and U visa petitions were filed for the victims. And that's huge. If you're wondering what a U visa is, it's a special type of visa set aside for victims of certain crimes who have suffered from mental or physical abuse and are helpful to authorities during an investigation. Which brings us to what's happening right now. The migrants who were sent to Massachusetts by Florida officials as part of a political stunt received bona fide determinations in their U visa petition this week, a status that allows them some freedoms, including the ability to legally work and the protection against deportation until their visa becomes available. So this determination is a big ticket news, is the big ticket news here, because what that does is it provides protections for these migrants so they can remain in the United States. It could take up to a decade, by the way, for migrants to get this particular visa, and only 10,000 U visas are granted each year in the United States. So this basically means that DeSantis, by doing this stunt and committing a crime against these migrants, by sending them to a different place in the country under false pretenses, is actually speeding up the legal status of these migrants.
Pausing here to deliver some honest truth as we do in our news coverage as well. TYT is facing challenges, guys, as the entire industry is. You know who could make the difference? You. If you hit the join button below, it's gonna make all the difference and keep us in business. We appreciate you, thank you.
Random side note here, I can't look at DeSantis the same again after what Trump and the Republicans did to him in the primary. Because when I see him on there, that press conference, and he's like, and you know what? I'm like, oh, there goes the bobbing head, okay? And there it goes a little bit, okay? And I keep thinking about his boots with the high rise. I don't know if that's really true or not. I'm like, is he really that tall? Okay, now on to the real deal. Look, I said when they started doing the busing Abbott from Texas, hey, that's a smart political idea. because it's going to put them into the blue cities. They're going to start to complain, and that proved to be exactly right, right? Whether you like it or not, you think it's terrible or not, politically savvy. But when Desantis does it for Florida, as Anna explained to you, he had to go from Florida to San Antonio, pick them up, bring them back to Florida. I mean, he's not doing it personally himself, but actually that's part of the problem.
Right.
He's telling someone to do that. They bring them back to Florida and then fly them to Martha's Vineyard.
Under false pretenses.
Right, but when you have an actual person lying to other people with false pretenses to get them to travel, that's a crime. So DeSantis aided and abetted and ordered that crime. So look, is he going to be held responsible? No. Okay, it's my best bobblehead. But could some of his underlings be held responsible? Maybe. And Ed has now ironically opened up this situation where they get to stay. So yeah, not very well played, DeSantis.
I want to be clear. I have no problem with migrants being offered travel to other parts of the country, including sanctuary cities or sanctuary states, as long as they are not lied to, as long as they consent and they are agreeing to travel to other parts of the country based on what's convenient for them, right? That is not what happened here. They were lied to. They were told that they were going to get all sorts of services once they got to Martha's Vineyard. And so that is where the crime is, right? That is what the problem is here. And so far, real quick, so far 3 out of the 49 migrants have received their determinations and their U visa. So look, I don't think DeSantis cares either way. To be honest with you, I think for DeSantis, this was nothing more than a political stunt, and he feels he's reaped the benefits of that political stunt. He doesn't care what happens to these migrants either way, in my opinion. But if you happen to be a conservative, a Republican in this country who does not want these migrants to get legal status, well, just understand that a Republican governor in the state of Florida has worked against what you would prefer to happen by helping to speed up the ability for them to claim legal status in America.
Yeah, and if 3 of them got it because of this stunt, the others are almost certainly going to get it as well. So look, in a sense, those particular immigrants got super lucky. They got taken to Martha's Vineyard where they were treated really, really well. We reported on that earlier. And now they're gonna get to stay and have visas and eventually work towards a green card, all because of the knucklehead DeSantis. Now, what I was gonna say there a second ago is, look guys, if you're one of those guys who think everything's deep state and you're touchy about, hey, is this real crimes or not crimes? Understand why the false pretenses matter. It's not just a light thing. So they told them, oh, you're gonna get money and jobs. And if you go up there and they're like, oh, okay, great, and they get on the plane and they have no way of getting back. I don't know if they came with friends, family, I have no idea, right? So an analogy might be if they told you, hey, if you get on a plane to Alaska, when you land, they're gonna give you $10,000. You get to Alaska, there's no $10,000, and now you're stuck in Alaska and you gotta take a plane back. Yeah, it's almost a form of false imprisonment, kidnapping, etc. It's not the same exact thing, so that's why it's the charges, false pretenses, but you get why it's a crime I hope you do, to send them in this fashion.
And look, there's the legal component and then everyone has different morals. But for me, the lack of morals in using human beings as a political tool, as part of your stunt, pretty gross, right? Regardless of how you feel about our broken immigration system and all of that, put that aside and consider the fact that these are human beings and they were used as props for someone's political stunt. That's incredibly disgusting.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.